The problem with the banking system is that no one really knows how it works. When you are young, you get basically no education on finance or on interest or on investments, real estate, anything. There's very little financial education in the K through 12 education system, public education system. I can't imagine it's much different if you're in private school. They just don't talk about those things. So now people have no real understanding of how the banking system works. So they just kind of do what they're told. They put their money in the bank. They get next to no interest on it. They know nothing about investments until they're older, until they realize how far behind they are if they want to have like a normal situation where you get to retire maybe. So pretty much I'd say at least half of people are in that boat where they're way behind. They're really only thinking about today, like my situation today is okay, but that's basically because I still have a job. So what would happen if I didn't have a job, or if I lost my job, or if I wanted to retire? Well, you wouldn't have that income. So unfortunately, that's the scenario most people are in, because the costs of everything keep going up much faster than your wages. So people are earning, on a purchasing power standpoint, you're earning actually less purchasing power. So you might be earning nominally more dollars, but they don't buy as much, because everything costs more. You look at fuel, gas, transportation, food, energy, all that costs more. So your money just does not go as far. So you're being stretched thin on the income side, and maybe you just can't really afford to put $1,000 or $500 or even like a couple $100 a month into an investment account. You just can't do it. You need that money to pay your bills so that you can survive. And that's the problem I think so many people are in, is your income is stagnant. It goes up maybe very slightly, but the cost of living is far outpacing wages. So really, like, every year you're left with less and less freedom, less and less money. And by the time you're 40, 50 years old, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have much left. I realize here maybe I don't want to work the rest of my life, and I don't have a big pile of savings or investment that I can rely on. And Social Security, is not really going to help much. It will provide a very basic amount of income, and I don't think you can get it until you're 62 at the earliest. And I know there's a couple different rules around that. If you wait longer, you obviously get a little bit more of a payout, and everyone's situation is a little bit different. But some people get less than $1,000 a month. Like if you weren't a big taxpayer, and you didn't make a huge income, I think the minimum is pretty small. If you imagine even $1,000 a month, if you don't have any other income or a retirement, $1,000 a month is going to do nothing. It's barely going to be enough to like pay your rent if you lived with someone else. So food, other bills, energy, transportation, entertainment, anything else you wanted to do, $1,000 a month is not even going to make a dent in any of that. But what do you do, right? If you're 20 years old, 25 years old, 30 years old, unless you have the ability to really increase your income and put money aside so that it can grow. If you're in the group of people that makes just not a very good income, it's tough, because all of that money you earn just goes towards paying your bills. You cannot really store money aside for your future consumption or for retirement. I think most people probably could if they wanted to. You just have to be very disciplined about it. But if you make $3,000 a month, you're not going to have more than a few $100s each month. And that's going to be difficult, because if anything comes up, like a car that breaks down, or you know, any other life type of thing that comes up, you could quickly be negative. And again, that's what I was talking about previously. It's just alarming because there's so many people that have high amounts of credit card debt. So their income is not enough to sustain or support their spending or their lifestyle. And a lot of these people would say, well, geez, I don't really spend all that much money. I'm not going out to eat all the time. I'm not buying fancy clothes or doing all this entertainment stuff. I'm kind of living below my means here. And that might be true for some people, but you kind of have to cut back. You have two options. You can make that amount of income work and cut back on pretty much everything. Don't eat out. Pretty much don't be a consumer, because you can't be. People still want to be consumers, though, and that's why the credit card comes in, and they end up basically, still having a higher standard of living than they really should, and they finance that with a credit card, which is even further crippling, because it's weighing you down with debt for probably a long period of time, and your income really cannot sustain it. So you're going to be racking up more and more debt as time goes on. So what's the conclusion here? Well, there's just no education on it. Every person it's so easy to just blame the system or to blame, everything around you, but it's really not within your control. Like you can't do anything about the banking system or, how expensive everything is. You're just a consumer, right? So I think everyone has really two options. It's like, hey, I'm just going to accept my situation in life, and maybe I like my job, but I don't want to leave my job, and my income is going to be kind of not very good. That's okay if you accept that, but then you have to adjust your standard of living. You have to consume way less. You have to budget. You probably have to live with other people. Owning real estate, depending on where you live, might be out of the question. You're going to be forced to kind of be not a lower class person, but just kind of a lower consumer. You don't buy much, you don't do a lot, you don't really own anything, and you have to accept that. If you don't accept that, you're going to be miserable, because you're always going to be saying, geez, everything's so tough, and I wish I just made more money. And that's the second thing you could do. Hey, I'm not content. I'm not satisfied. I'm not where I want to be. So I have to put myself in a situation where I have the ability to earn a better income. That's really the first. That would be like the best advice, I think. I'm in the wrong vehicle currently in order to get to where I want to go financially. So you have to change your vehicle. You have to either get more skills or be in a position by changing your position where you're going to get compensated based on your performance, and you have the ability for a higher ceiling. I think so many people are in positions where they get paid the same amount of money effectively, regardless of how they perform. As long as they're still employed, they get the same amount of money. So that's difficult, because even if you really are trying very hard, your financial situation won't really change much. So that's where you have to come to the realization, okay, I am someone who wants to work harder. I am someone who wants to have a better life. I am someone who, I need to make more money in order to achieve these things, to be able to do the things I want. So I'm going to put up with maybe an uncomfortable situation of changing jobs or getting more skills or furthering myself in a way in which I can, rise above everyone else, or try to. Because most people, I think, are just kind of comfortable where they're at. They're not looking to really change much. And, most people are in debt. They have credit card debt. They're living above their means, and it's a bad situation. So those are the two things. Most people don't even realize it, though. Like they're just so tunnel vision on what's going on in their daily life that they don't even realize, oh man, I'm not happy. I'm not making enough money. I need to change it. I can't just keep showing. If I keep showing up and keep doing the job that I have now, I can't necessarily expect things to get better for me. Maybe they will. Maybe you will get lucky and you get more responsibility or get a big raise, but it's unlikely, I would say. You're going to be pretty steady for most people. And so really you have to change, or you have to get more skills and do something where you can demand either a higher hourly wage, a higher salary, or, you know, if you're more in the trades, then it's like, hey, I'm out here 12 hours a day trying to, you know, go on service calls or trying to get new customers, right? And that's the only way you can do it, right? You can't expect to do the same thing. Like if you have a long history of knowing this is the work I do and this is what I get paid, and every year maybe the pay goes up just like very little. If you keep going on that trajectory, like it's very predictable. You're going to get whatever you get. And you can be happy with that, or you can be unhappy with that. If you're happy with it, then fine. If you're unhappy with it, you have to realize this system that I'm in is probably not going to get me to where I want to go. So I need to change my system. I need to change my job, career, profession, get more skills, whatever. If you don't do that, it's very predictable, right? Let's just take a step back, you know, outside of your day-to-day life and say, where will I be financially, or where will I be professionally in 5 years if I just don't change anything? If I really don't look for more responsibility, if I really just keep doing the same thing every day, will I be making so much more money on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis? Maybe, but probably not. If you have a history of getting paid the same amount of money for years and it goes up just very slightly every year, you get a small raise. Why would you expect that to all of a sudden change? That's why things like, you know, more transactional type things, or, you know, that's why I think a lot of people, they look at real estate as an opportunity to maybe get, you know, just get kind of like a windfall of money, because where else can you make tens of thousands of dollars for doing what I would say is a minimal amount of work? It's very competitive in real estate, but if you just work a normal job, like, hey, you worked 40 hours this week, you get paid $20 an hour, here's your $800, and then the tax comes out of it, and you spent all your time working, so you didn't have time for other things, and you made $600. So all that time is gone, and your reward is not even enough money to really pay your bills. So that's not a good exchange of your time at all. But most people are in that environment where my time's gone, I get such a small amount of money, and I have no time for anything else because I can't not work, right? I don't have any other money. Maybe I have people that are relying on me, and that's my situation. So that's a bad spot to be in, because you're just tied to the lower tier of society pretty much your whole life. So let me know what you guys think about it. I don't know. It's you kind of have to free yourself, but you have to be able to I think, step back and say, is this the highest and best use of my time? Is this going to lead to me getting to where I want to go? Historically, many people just kind of, you know, they stayed with companies long term. There were like pension plans. There were things that companies did in order to satisfy the employees. Like they would be kind of penalized if they went elsewhere, if they looked elsewhere. Now, it's kind of more towards you get penalized for staying. Like these big companies don't necessarily reward people that are there longer. They kind of make the rules on what you financially can make, and you know, any sort of like retirement or pension plan has been eliminated. So there's not like an incentive for staying a long period of time. The only incentive really is maybe you know how to do your job and it's more easy. But financially, I think it's, it's going to be advantageous for the worker to leave, because that's the only way they can realize their true market value. The company is going to want to say, hey, we've been paying you X amount for 4 or 5 years. We're not just going to start paying you toward what the market rate is. We've had you in our system at this rate. We'll give you your 3% raise next year, but that's it. So you're kind of forced to say, hey, if I really want to make more money, I already know how your system works. I've been here for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and it's not getting me anywhere near where I need to be. So, okay, lesson learned. I have to look elsewhere for a different opportunity, get a market rate of wages, and then look for a position where, if you want a position where you're going to work really hard and try to differentiate yourself, then you want to have the ability to have a high ceiling, not just get a low ceiling where really regardless of what you do, you're getting kind of the same amount as everyone else. So I know what you guys think. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.